Hi and welcome back, and today it's finally time we're going to start working on the clutch because I had a bit of an offshoot with trying to sort the starter motor and getting a new adapter plate made. Clutch has really taken a back seat. Now I did test it on the bench when I found out that I needed to go to 8mm, but this is the first time I'm really going to get a chance to actually see whether the pedal will engage and disengage as it needs to. So what I need to do first is put the adapter plate back on the working engine, fit the flywheel, fit the clutch, then fit the gearbox. I put the starter motor on because, well, you've already seen me do that several times. And now it's time to make a start on the clutch. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a second. So here we've got the original Ford hydraulic clutch slave, which has the same bore as the Mazda MX5 one. Don't ask what it is at the minute. I'm sure I'll find it out. I'll put that back in later on. It's got a push rod on it, and that's basically it, which works in the same way as this one. So what we've got here is the push rod, and one major difference between the two is on the original you've got a really annoying circlip. Now anybody who's watching this and knows how to fit these, it's a real pain. The circlip is so tight and you've got to get it over these lands here. It can be a real pain, whereas this just bolts on, and that is going to be really handy for when I need to take the gearbox out. I don't need to remove the clutch hose. I can just unbolt the clutch slave from the gearbox. Now I haven't got to re-bleed anything, which is really cool. And speaking of the clutch hose, this is the one I've taken off the Cortina. Now there used to be a plastic hose, just like a red thing. I did have one, a reproduction one, but it always leaked. Hadn't been pressed right at one of the ends, so I bought a steel braided hose from Lotus Specialist, and it's been great. Now I'm going to take this off because I don't need it anymore, as the clutch hose doesn't run next to the exhaust. It's next to the steering box on the opposite side, which is always nice. One thing I'm concerned of, though, is whether it's a bit too long, but we'll leave that for the minute. And the other thing that was a problem is that this is 1/4" NPT, and this is M10 fine, so M10 by 125. So what I've been out, I've bought this, which will convert the two. So that'll go on there, which you'll try and do one-handed, and this will then go on to that, and hopefully everything should work. So let's get it all together. Right, clutch hose, I've just finished tightening it up. Yes, it is excessive. It's actually worse than what I thought it would be. So down there, you can just about make out the slave cylinder, master cylinder's there. Now that used to come all the way down here, which is why you've got quite an excess on it. I've got another one of these somewhere. I need to dig it out because it caught the exhaust, and it needs some chopping off. So actually it's a useful one for what I'm going to do, but for the tests now it'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about it. First one is the fluid. I'll go in there. Okay, right, I think that's in here. Find out. Right, that is on. So keeping the syringe vertical. Race. That's it. And I'll shut that off. Making sure you drop the spanner as well. Right. Just going to check whether there's any fluid up top. As you can see, all that syringe is pushed through. So that's pretty good. Alright, light's not great in here. Oh no, there it is. And that actually feels really good, like a long progressive pedal. Better than what the original felt like actually. Now I know I'm missing the carb and the exhaust and everything, so I can't run it up at the minute. But I am going to say, at the moment, that is a complete win. I was expecting more of a hassle with that. It feels really good. I can't stop. Right, I'm going to have to stop doing that. I'm getting distracted. Right, I've had a think about it, and I can't just leave it like that. I need to get this thing running so we can just see, even if it's going to run rough, it's going to be real rough, because I'm not going to use an inlet and exhaust gasket because I've only got one left. And once I've done these sorts of tests, it's all coming back out so I can make it look neat and tidy and fresh again. Anyway, I digress. Let's get it running just so I can test the clutch. So what I need to do is take most of the stuff out of this boot, fit it to the engine, get it running, and we can test the clutch. So let's montage. The engine's all prepped. I've primed the carb, so it's got fuel. I've got electrics, although I've not put the alternator on. Didn't really see the point for what I'm doing. Same as the radiator. I'm only going to be running it for very briefly. What I need to do now is open the door, get some ventilation in here. It's also going to get quite loud because I've not put the exhaust on. It's just the manifold. But again, just enough for me to get some revs, see whether engaging the clutch actually does engage, disengage, whichever way it works, you know what I'm on about. Anyway, stop posturing, time to do it. So it's running pretty poorly, which I kind of thought it would without a gasket on there. But I've got all 5 gears and reverse, which is really cool. I wasn't expecting it to be as straightforward as it was. The plate's working out well. It looks like the oil seal, even though I need to turn it around, that seems to have worked so far. I haven't seen any, it's not dripping oil like it used to, so that's a brilliant sign. It means I can now push on and start making the everything look nice again, give it a good clean, get the floor painted, sort the prop shaft out. That's actually going to be a pretty big one, but I think I want to get on that sooner rather than later, so I can just like chalk a line under it. I've got the speedo to sort out, so I've not done anything towards that yet. I have an idea, but I need to actually just action it. But yeah, stuff like that. So I feel now it's time to like make her a car again, which is really cool. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that and learned something from it, because I think I have. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.